A little bit about what we do at Stutter Drill. We're a 3-3-5 team. Ends up being more of a 3-5-3. Previous 2 years, 8.7 points a game, 84.5 passing yards a game. Teams complete about 40.5% of the balls they throw. Big one, 35 interceptions the last 24 games. Okay, I was playing against some of the best teams in the state. Stuff we do. Okay, a couple reasons why we play press man-to-man. One, it's extremely disruptive. You're going to see I have a lot of clips we'll show you at towards the end of this. We blitz, I want to say we went through, broke it down, blitz about 90 to 95% of the time. And I guess I'll go into that philosophy and why we do that. But disruptive, gets in quarterbacks' faces, doesn't give them easy throws. And we don't want anyone in high school to throw a 6-yard hitch. Okay? We get multiple looks, we'll go through and press, bail, stab. We do 2 hands, we do a tough technique, we'll go all through it again. Again, cause confusion for the quarterbacks, bring great pressure. We want to take away 3-step games. Again, I was a high school quarterback. Okay, I was also a second baseman in baseball. They didn't trust me to throw a baseball more than 60 feet. Okay, also played high school. I could throw a hitch, I could throw a slant, I could throw a 5-yard out. Couldn't throw a post that well, couldn't throw a fade accurately. A lot of high school quarterbacks, you probably all had them, we've had them with us, can't throw a deep ball accurately. Another reason why we want to make people throw it. Allows your athletes to be athletes, arguably your best athletes, probably the secondary, okay, on your team for the most part. Last part is we want to be aggressive. This is, thinking on my ride up here, I thought about it. A lot of defensive coordinators saying, we want to be aggressive. And then I came to Stutter Drill, defensive coordinator, he's been in the state championship 3 times, and fellow Whitewater guy. He said, we play really aggressive defense. And when I got there, they were sitting in a base cover 3, base cover 1. Really weren't doing anything on the edge. And I said, well, if you want everyone to be aggressive, why not be aggressive on the edge? Why not bring your safeties down and press the tight ends? Why not go press the corner, or press the wide receivers rather, when you're in this type of defense? So it's this idea that our whole defense, all 11 guys, are going to play aggressive. A couple quotes I brought from a big quote guy. Okay, big Michigan fan. I think Don Brown, one of the best coordinators in the nation. Okay, talks about you either apply pressure you feel it. I'm not big on feeling it, so we're going to apply it. Okay, we're going to bring it right to the wide receiver. We're not going to give you free releases off the line. We're going to bring the pressure right to you. Matt Patricia playing the AFC Championship this weekend. Patriots philosophy is stop the run, play tight pass coverage and combination man and press techniques. You know this guy, Nick Saban. Okay, we play our corners up a lot. Sometimes it bails out, sometimes we bump and run. This is a big one. Okay, I just think that we're not philosophically into playing a lot of stuff coverage where you line up 7, 8, 9 yards off the guy and give them a lot of easy throws. Okay, being around, my dad's a high school coach, he's been down for 30 years. His big thing, he gave this talk, Michigan State Clinic, he said, how many times have we gone to a youth game and you've heard a coach say, hey, go cover that guy? Right? We don't tell a quarterback, hey, throw it to that guy and hope you complete it. Why do we tell corners and safeties, hey, cover that guy, without giving them proper technique to do it? Okay? This color thing, we'll talk stance alignment. I'm going to go through this fast because I don't feel like doing a lot of presentation and talking through this. We're going to talk through it. I'll show you on the film. If any of you want this, okay, I'll email it to you. It's got all the information. Stance and alignment. Okay, we're going to start with the bent knee stance. We're going to your knees are going to be kind of locked inside your shoulders. We're going to start wide. It's a little bit different than some people teach. We teach it like a basketball stance. Okay, translate a lot of our guys that play in the secondary also play basketball, so they understand. Basketball stance, you don't start skinning. Okay, in basketball, you're going to get crossed up. So we start a wide stance. Our hands are ready. There's a big issue with a lot of our young guys. We start this with our 7th graders. We bring them all in. We teach them how to do this. Is that they don't understand this is a hand fight. You're going to get in a fight at the line of scrimmage. You don't fight with your hands down. Okay, that also translates. You tell those guys, listen, if you're going to get in a street fight, you don't fight with your hands at your side and pray you don't get hit in the face. You got your hands up. Your hands are ready. Our knees are locked or bent over. Our chest is to the ground. Okay. Nice athletic stance. Kind of varies, different between guys, how wide they want to go, how tight they're going to be. I say get comfortable, okay? I'm not going to tell them specifics. Everyone's a little bit different, okay? Snap the ball progression. We're going total focus to receiver's hips and midsection. What we do is we wear white, then you can see white, red practice shoes. I'll take like a black dot, and I'll put it, because I tell him, if you aim small, you're going to miss small. If you tell him, well, aim in his chest, and he misses, okay, you're aiming for a whole chest. Some people's chest bigger, some people's chest smaller. I tell them, if you pick a spot on their jersey, we wear mesh jerseys, so we put a little black dot, I'll color it in and say, aim for the black dot if you're going to press. And all our wide receivers, all our DBs will have little black dots. When they're playing against each other, they see where they're pressing. Okay, we're going to activate our feet. We don't press on the line. If you go listen to NFL D coordinators, they'll say we're going to jam right on the line. We're going to try and get people right on the line. Our rules are different anyway. We can play with our hands as long as the ball is in the air. So we're going to gain distance off the line of scrimmage. Okay, we're going to gain vertical distance off the line of scrimmage, gain vertical push. We're We're going to keep our square shoulders as long as possible. We don't want to open the gate. Again, we'll talk about that in film. We're going to mirror the receiver's hip movement, staying and keeping him in our framework. So our framework is our framework of our body. We want to keep the wide receiver in our framework. If he tries to take an inside release, we're going to move with him, keep him in our framework as long as possible. Okay? We're going to be patient. Big one. Okay, and this is, I can't remember who I stole this from. I think this was in Nick Saban, one of his playbooks that we went through and looked at. It says the goal in playing press route is disruption, not elimination. And what we mean by that is, we're not trying to eliminate people from getting off the line of scrimmage. We're not trying to eliminate routes right off the bat. We're trying to get in the way and say, listen, we're going to disrupt every time you take a release. You're not going to get a free release vertically down the field on us. Okay? We're going to use our feet and eyes and then our hands. The first thing we do, and I recommend this, invest in boxing gloves. And why would you invest in boxing gloves? The first time we go to press, when we start practice, we make our DBs wear boxing gloves. Okay, because the first inclination is when they get beat, they want to grab people. Okay, and then that's a penalty, and now it's holding. So we put boxing gloves on because you can't grab people with boxing gloves. You got to move your feet. You can punch with them still, okay, but you can't grab people. Okay, we're going to use our feet and eyes. We're not going to overcommit. We're not going to punch too fast. We're going to use an off-arm jam. Okay, we're not going to use two hands unless we're using our tough technique. Okay, the reason why you don't want to use two hands, if you get two hands locked on and this guy gets outside your framework, you're going to spin your hips. Now you're out of position. You can't run in phase. Now you're playing chase technique. We might as well not press. Okay, so we're going to use one hand in our press. Okay, as he gains ground, the wide receiver is eventually going to declare a direction. We're going to open 45 degrees. He moves outside the T of our body. What we do with our young guys, if you put your arms straight out, right, forms a T. And we tell them our only goal for your wide receiver is if he runs outside your T, that's a win for us. Right? If you look at a release, if that guy gets an immediate inside release, or outside release, he's going to stack you on your butt, and now you're beat. Okay, so we tell them if they run the T of your body, you're going to win because now you're going to be in phase. Okay, DB should open his hips, motor step, we'll explain when we get to the video. Getting ready to run. Okay, we're going to use an opposite arm punch. I don't like saying jam. Okay, I don't like saying jam. We call it a punch. Kids understand if you're punching someone, right? You're punching someone as hard as you can. We tell them if you're going to throw a punch, it needs to be a physical punch. We're trying to knock people off routes, trying to knock them out of bounds, eventually trying to get them to the ground. Okay, when we play this technique, okay, it's opposite arm punch. You're going to lock the elbow out with your thumb up. I always tell them to palm of your hand to his near number. Again, we'll put those dots there so that they know where to hit on the near number. Okay, some of our kids, like it or not, they don't know where a near number is when they're playing press. Okay, big thing too, we do lock out the elbow. We do this, all of these pre-drills, we won't do against a live body until they figure out how to lock out a jam on a bag. Okay, we do it on a bag, we'll do it on our 5-man sled. I think through the first 5 days we use our 5-man sled in the secondary just as much as our linemen did. Okay, so we're going to use an off-arm jam, lock out the elbow with the thumb up. Okay, we're going to eye the thigh while we're transitioning to run. So as soon as we release, we've punched, we've motor stepped, we're in a run, we're going to eye the thigh. And all eye the thigh means is as soon as we're running and opening and jamming, I want to take my eyes to his thighs because he's not going to run anywhere without his thighs going in that spot. Okay, and it's going to bring it to his hip level changer. We're going to see stride length changing, high hands versus low hands. Again, we're going to go through all that here in a bit. Okay, when in phase with the receiver, confident, route developed, we're going to sneak a peek, we're going to get our look and lean on, eyes to the sky. Okay, Vikings coordinator, stole this from Jerry Gray, played for the Detroit Lions, said play the flash of the football. Okay, what he said was as soon as you're playing the flash football, you got your wedge on, you're looking and leaning. As you're playing the ball, if you look what D-backs do, especially in high school, they look right back at the quarterback. Okay, ball's not coming from the quarterback. Ball's coming from up in the sky, the trajectory of the ball, and the arc of the football is bringing it down from the sky. You're not going to look back and see the ball coming up over your head. So playing the flash of it, as you're looking and leaning, you play the flash of the football coming from the sky. Because if you think about most of your interceptions on deep balls, you don't get a long read on a ball and get to read and judge it. You're going to catch the flash of that ball coming down and have to make an adjustment immediately. Okay, so we tell them, we play the flash of the football and the ball's coming out of the air. Okay? Some tips and tricks, this is stuff that'll really help. Okay, I think this is just as important for high school D-backs to understand is if you think about your defensive backs throughout the years, if they don't know this type of stuff, we're putting them at a disadvantage. So this is stuff that day one we tell them, listen, here are some tips and tricks that'll help you win every time. Okay, if we're playing press, you're going to get double moved. Okay, you're getting a lot of stutter goes, you're getting a lot of double moves, so we're telling them, listen, play the second step off the line of scrimmage, meaning if I'm giving a stem as a wide receiver and I step hard on my left foot, expect that I'm coming back right. Okay? And we tell them when they get good enough at that, especially down to the goal line when everyone starts dancing and they want to get off the press, okay? They're going to make 5 moves, stick hard on the opposite. We're thinking if they stick hard right, we're going left. Okay, if they stick hard with their left, we're going right. Okay, so let's think opposite. We're going to talk what happens if you got a punch, counter punch, if you got a whip turn. Wide receivers, if they avoid the DB, they take an inside release. We're thinking curl post. Okay, we're going to teach them how to pull the chair out. We'll have a video on that. Okay, wide receiver avoids the outside, think out fade. Is this every time? No. But if you think, again, high school wide receivers, college wide receivers, watch where their releases, watch what it takes into the route. If they know this, right, we do a drill where our wide receivers, as soon as they take an outside release, corners yell fade, come back, fade, come back, fade, come back. Okay, they get used to thinking, what type of routes am I going to see with this type of release? Okay. Again, wide receiver tries to run through the DB, we pressure it, call our tough technique. We'll get 2 hands on the guy, how we're going to play to the run. Okay, versus back shoulder fade, wide receiver opens, back shoulder fade. Again, we don't see a ton of back shoulder fades. If you do though, this is literally what we tell them is if you get a back shoulder fade and that ball is thrown, you got to put your upfield foot in the ground, throw your arm to the wide receiver's hands, and pray you get a knockout. Because if it's a perfect back shoulder fade, you're not stopping it. Okay, again though, outside of Aaron Rodgers, I don't know how many people throw a consistent back shoulder fade, especially high school level. Okay? So, some of our drills, stuff we want to get into, we do a mirror drill. It's going to be hard to see. Our camera drill kind of messes us up a little bit. So I apologize for that. It's a little dark. First drill we do with them, okay, we put them on the line of scrimmage. If you can see, we put them on the line of scrimmage, we just teach them what is inside leverage. Okay, when we line up on a wide receiver, we take our outside foot and we split them right down the crotch. Okay, now you'll hear Jim Leonard, if you go listen to Jim Leonard speak, he's going to say, well, we line up head up. We don't want to give an outside release. I say, where we're at, we're comfortable saying if you want to take a free outside release, okay, we know you're running a fade or comeback, we feel confident we can stop that with pressure that we're bringing. Okay, so it's literally, we start with their hands behind their back. They don't do it here. We'll start with their hands behind their back, and we're literally just teaching what is inside leverage. Okay, I know we all say, well, they need to get leverage, you need to get leverage. If you don't tell them what inside or outside leverage is, they may not know. Okay, so you tell them what leverage is. Okay, so that's just all. The first thing we do when we line them up. We just line up, literally tell them, set, go and do it for 5 seconds. Okay, tell them get a drill, tell them keep your inside leverage, keep your foot down as outside. Okay, then we go to our mirror motor step. A motor step, okay, motor step is simply saying we want to try and stay square as long as possible. Again, I have clips to show this. When you're going in this press, right, we're mirroring. As soon as he releases, we give 2 kicks, 2 high kicks. We don't exaggerate it well here because this is the very first day we ever did this. Okay, but when we mirror and then we motor step, it's 2 high, real high kicks to try and stay square, because what happens is if they take an outside release, if they come back on us, right, and try and whip under us and run a quick slant by taking an outside release, we want to still be as square as possible to take that release and get back on top of the route. Okay, so the outside releases, you can see him, okay, with his 2 high kicks. As soon as he gets to the top of the route, kick, and then he turns to run. Okay, again, you can see it here. Gets outside, it's a kick, and then it's a run. Okay, it's real controlled, it's real slow. Again, we don't do any fast press technique to start the year. Okay, it's really slow and really controlled. Okay. We go to our mirror motor punch drill. So now we put the mirror, okay, we put the motor steps into it, then we get to punching. Again, I would tell them, palm up, forceful punch. Tell them to go palm open. Okay, you get a lot of kids that'll go, when I teach them, close your fists up and punch with a palm. Okay, that way they're not grabbing. If they punch with their fingers up, you're going to get a little freshman that's going to break his finger on the very first day of camp. Okay, tell them to close their fingers. We go palm up to the near number. Okay, again, we want people to run outside of our tee in this drill. Okay, so again, we start with our hands behind our back. Again, we didn't have boxing gloves this time. I didn't get this idea till about week 8, I think it was. We played Verona. I think we had 7 holding penalties. 6 of them were not our fault, I believe. They probably were our fault, but I still don't think they're our fault. But then we said, listen, we're going to invest in boxing gloves. We practice the rest of your boxing gloves. We're going to have a holding call the rest of the year. Okay? You start with their hands behind the back. You see the mirror. You see the motor, and then they're punching right to it. Okay? Again, it's really slow. It's really controlled. We're trying to get them. Because the big thing about press, and this is why, again, I say, if you're thinking there, well, Disclaimer, our two corners this year are both 6'2", 190 plus, and they're both Division I corners. Okay? And you're sitting there and thinking, boy, we don't have that type of people, do we? Disclaimer, I'm a 5'10", 4'8" guy that played at UW Whitewater and tried out with the Vikings. So I'm telling you, you can do it if you teach it, because the whole part, if you win the first 5 yards of this, you'll win the routes downfield. Okay, firm believer, if you can win the first 5 yards, you'll win the routes downfield. If you win the routes downfield, if you're going to press, you got to bring some pressure. Okay, don't sit there and don't pressure people if you're going to play press. And you want to play press, man, you better be bringing 5 or 6 every time, because we're counting on someone getting home. Okay, so again, your motor punch, you can see it here. Then we start with his hands up. Again, notice where his hands are. They're not sitting down by his side. We got them up. We're ready again. Ready to get in the street fight line. You see the kick and a kick. Punch, and then you see at the end here when we got good at this, again, it's our Division I kid, gets it and then goes hands right to his hip, and see where his eyes, right? See where his eyes are, right? Boom, right to his hip, right to his eye. Okay, gets his eyes down, because you'll see, again, if you start trying to do this, a lot of kids leave their eyes up high and they catch a head fake, they're not seeing what they're doing, brings his eyes right in his hands are hitting. Okay, you gotta see what you hit, right? We tell everyone, see what you hit when you're tackling people, right? You gotta see where you're punching, you gotta see where his thighs are, whereas your hands are going to go, you have to see it with your eyes. Okay, again, just another look at it going the other way. Now we kind of progress it off the line. Okay, so instead of mirroring side to side and understand, now we have a base understanding what leverage is, bring it off the line. See the vertical push, again, different from what other people do. It's what we're comfortable doing, it's what I was taught, how I was taught it. It's what they taught us at Whitewater, it's what we did in high school. It's the way I like it. I don't like grabbing people on the line. Okay, grab people on the line. If you miss, it's a touchdown. At least this, you give yourself a chance vertically off the line. So you see vertical push, 2 kicks, run, get to his thigh. Okay, again, last one. Again, getting vertical push off the line, kick and a kick, and get your hand to his thigh. Okay? That leads to, again, are you going to get beaten this? Yes. Okay, I'm here to tell you, you will get beaten this. Right? This isn't the end-all be-all. You're not going to stop every wide receiver in America. But if you get beat, how do you win and get back on top of the route? One way, punch, counter punch. If you get flipped your hips, okay, we teach. If you get your hips flipped, you punch, we're bringing a counter punch back. Okay? Key teaching points on this. You punch, you see that he sticks his outside foot in the ground and is trying to bring that route back under. You punch with a punch, you punch to his near number again, now you're on top of the route, running on the inside. Okay? Wish this guy again. 6'2", so we really had to work with him, say get low. You have to stay low on your punch, counter punch. Again, this was taken as a junior, you're a senior, you got a lot better, but you can see drill on the other side, right? Vertical push, punch, counter punch. Yeah, this is our other key, started 2 years ago for us, 5'7" kid, 5'7", 140 pounds. Okay, so again, any type of person, a lot of different people that can play this position if you have the technique of it. Okay, again, show it to you again. This is punch and counter punch. Big thing is you got to teach them, right? If you're teaching like a 45 away with a big rip turn, right? We're gonna rip it to punch. If he's coming back, we got to rip it to counter punch. Okay. So we really, again, it's different than we don't backpedal, so we don't really teach like what happens if you got to run 45 away and you're in a pedal. We don't backpedal at all. Okay, we bail or we press. We might bail from depth. Okay, but I don't like sitting. I don't feel comfortable giving someone a 7-yard head start running vertically at us and saying turn at a 180 degree and make sure you don't get your hips flipped and make sure they don't undercut you to the post. And there's a lot of things that can go wrong when you're getting vertical push like that. Okay. One of the last ones you do, mirror whip turn. This is if you totally get beat, right? This is last resort. Again, we do these things because I tell them, if you win this 8 out of 10 times, good. There's going to be 2 or 3 times, though, they will get you. Okay? So all a whip turn is say you completely whip, we're going to whip our head around, we're going to get our eyes back to his side, we're going to find him. Okay? I know a guy from New Berlin said it's his old crap drill. Okay, we're going to get, oh crap, you beat me vertically, we got to get moving. So a good one right here. You see him, we're going to just fake a punch. Fake your punch, whip your head as fast as you can around, put your upfield foot in the ground and whip your head back, find his thighs. Okay, now we're out of phase, so we're going to teach you how to play it out of phase. Okay, so all this stuff though, again, this is all just one big progression. We do this about 20 minutes. Okay, 5 minutes of drill, but we do this every single day to start camp. Until I say, listen, okay, we got it, now we can move on to one-on-ones, we can pick our speed up. It is really slow, because again, notice too, again, we're working in 5-yard runs. Press man again. If you win the first 5 yards, you will win the route most of the time. Unless they make a miraculous catch or it's a great throw. Again, we don't work 10-yard back pedals. We don't work 15-yard W drills. It's all, everything's done within 5 yards. Okay, it's, again, aggressive, just the way we do things. Okay? So what happens if you get beat? Again, we teach them to do the fade no look drill. Okay, fade no look drill simulates if you're out of phase and you're beat on a route, the guy's going vertically. Number one mistake, you'll watch defensive backs from high school, Pee-wee, all the way up to the NFL as they look back for the ball and they're not in phase. Okay? It's something that you absolutely have to drill, especially with your young guys, freshmen, sophomores that love looking back at the ball and they're 5 yards away from a wide receiver. Okay? So what we do is we start wide receiver 1 yard ahead. Okay, DB must catch up, play the ball through the wide receiver hands. We tell them that if DB looks back for the ball, DB has, we make up something at the end of practice. Whether it be we backpedal the world, backpedal around the field one time, we might backpedal hundreds, we do 5-10. We can do anything. Tell them not to look. Okay, DB must punch up. Okay, Matt Patricia just talked about this past summer at the Notre Dame clinic. He said we punch up, not down. Reason being is if a wide receiver's got his hands, he's going up for a ball, right? If I punch down, I'm bringing the ball right to his gut. Right? Now he's going to make a catch for going to the ground. Versus if I punch up, right? I punch up and separate his hand, now I got to make a one-handed catch, which is hard for even the best to do. Other than if you're not Calvin Johnson, right? You're not making consistent one-hand catches with Travis. We punch up through the ball. I call it breaking glass. You can call it whatever you want. I just call it, imagine guy holding a piece of glass up there. You want to take your fist, you want to punch up through and try and bust the glass that he's holding onto, and then we're going to secure the tackle. So as we're punching up, right, that's another reason why I like punching up. If I'm punching up, that's bringing my other arm up. I'm going to secure the tackle on the back side. So again, one of the first time I did it, you see he's running. See his head, he's now looking. Okay, not a great look from our wide receiver here. But you see he's just punching up through his arms. Okay, it's this kid's first time ever playing, kid from Croatia. Okay, he'd never played football before, came the day before and said, I want to try playing football. Okay, but again, not looking for the ball, we're punching up through the hands, trying to break glass. Good example right here. Again, kid that's chasing about a 5'6" corner. It's one of our sophomores. Now looking back for the ball, up through the hands. He does a great job. I'm going to freeze right there, right? Hands are up, going right through the pocket of the hands, breaking the glass through his hands, getting the ball out of there. Coming down, you can see his right arm, he's getting to make the tackle. I try and keep him on the tackle right here just because we had guys going to the ground at the end. But you can see it again. Does a great job going up through the hands. Coming down through. Okay? Which leads us to, if we are in phase, we do a wedge. Okay? Now some people, again, say, well, I only want to do one technique, we're only going to play through the hands. Okay, we do wedge drill, we say if we're in phase, okay, drill simulates the receiver being in phase, wedge into the sideline, make a zone turn, look up for the ball, not back at the quarterback. Okay, this is a big one where we teach them play the flash of the football. Find the football out of the air, go play the flash of the ball. Maintain contact, look and lean. We call it look, lean, and clink. Okay, what look, lean, and clink means is, as I'm looking for the ball, your natural tendency is to curl inwards away from the wide receiver. So what we teach them is, and we literally have them just run this as a dry run, is as you're going, you got your hand in his thigh, right? We know the route is declared vertically. We're going to take our upfield shoulder, we're going to lean into that guy's helmet, and as I turn and look for the ball, I should hear the back of my helmet clink his face mask. That way I know we're together, I know we're close enough, there's no separation, that ball is not going to end up over. One of two things happens here, especially when we're not that good at it early in the season, is that ball gets thrown up over our head because we think we're looking, which we are, but we're not leaning. Right? We're looking and we're just running a straight line and the wide receiver is getting distance away from us to the sideline, he catches on the sideline. Or we're looking and we're curling in away from the wide receiver and that ball ends up over our head, now we got to go make a downfield tackle. So we call it look, lean, tell them to step on the gas. Big thing, especially our young guys too, when we first start introducing this, is as they're running, the tendency is, oh, the ball's in the air and I'm going to slow down because I'm watching the football. Okay, we tell them, listen, you got to step on the gas. As soon as you turn, look and lean, you have to put your foot on the gas. You have to sprint and keep your speed up as you're doing this. So we emulate it. Better to do this on the sidelines. If you got room to work on the sidelines, if you get all the other positions out of your way, but you can see him looking, leaning. Again, he's getting horizontal push. He's getting that guy. We tell him, if you can force him out of bounds, good for us, right? They might call it flag once in a while. That's something we're going to live with, okay? You get him looking, you get him going out of bounds. We want him going horizontally away from the sideline. We're going to go up and play the football. And we're going to go up and try and play it at the highest point. Good look here. Gets a jam, running. Gets his look and lean on. Go up, play the football with your near arm to the football. Okay, I can't remember whose presentation was watching. The guy went up with the wrong arm. We always want to go near arm to the quarterback. So if I'm doing it on a right drill like this guy is my near arm to the quarterback because I'm turning and looking as my left hand. Okay, for one of the opposite ways, it's going to be my right arm. Then we're going to go up, we're going to find the football vertically, go up, play it through his hands. Okay? Again, the last one does a really good job. Again, you can see, right, close to clinking his helmet. I'd say you got to lean a little bit more. Right? If you're not clinking the back of his helmet, you should lean a little bit more. But you can see he's really making an intent. You can tell by his body language, right? If he's just running straight, he's straight up and down looking. You can really see how we're leaning into this guy and saying, if you're going to catch this, you're going to have to go up over us. It's going to be offensive pass interference, or we're going to pick the ball off. And he does a good job picking it off here. Good job picking it off there. I wish you'd go up and high point it. Okay, wish you'd go up and high point it. This will happen. Okay, correction. Okay, I like showing the good with the bags. I'm going to be honest, we're not 100% all the time. If you get ahead of somebody, right, if you don't put someone in your back hip pocket, we're going to talk about when you get in a press, where should your body position be. If you get out ahead of them, okay, if you get out ahead of them, I tell them, if you get out ahead of them, go back door on them. Right, he gets out ahead, gets too far ahead, back door, slant, that's going to go for a touchdown. Okay, we tell them, especially when you're in this position and you're pressed, we don't want to get out ahead of the wide receiver because then they're just going to throw a stop. They're going to throw a stop, they're going to throw a hitch. We don't want to have something thrown behind us that we can't defend. Okay? So if that happens, teaching point, say, hey, stop the drill. What happened? Well, I got out ahead of them. I'm ahead of the route, trying to wedge too far. Okay? Again, that will happen occasionally. Questions so far? Question?
So when you coach them up on turning to look,
Yep.
so what's any keys or tips on that?
As in like when we're doing the wedge?
Yeah.
So I tell them, so, secret, I'll give it, stole the Minnesota Vikings to this, they have a red line down the side of their field, 8 yards off the sideline, which we eventually are going to get someone to paint at our school, or else I'm painting it next year. Okay? And we tell them you have the declare zone. So declare zone is what I tell them, it says this, if you're 5 to 7 yards, you got to still think hitch, slant, out, whatever 3-step route can come, because that can still come hot. If you're in that 10 to 12 yard, right, and we're still running, so you can see the lines, okay, that 10 to 12 yard, if he is not slowed down, right, hasn't dropped his hands, hasn't dropped his hips, if his thighs haven't gotten there, we're going to start turning to look right there. Because that means it's either they're going to try and throw an 18-yard comeback with, if we're bringing 5 to 6 people, that can't happen. Or else a D-line coach and linebacker coach are going to say, well, that's on us, which are, I mean, we're all good about that. If we get beat on a fade route and they're, you know, we didn't hold up our end, okay? We tell them if it's past that 12 to 15 and it's declared fully, you can start looking right there. So I try, like I said, try and make it easy on them. We'll do drills where I'll put cones out and say, listen, if you're past the red cone, that's 15 yards. You got to kind of get a timing feel for it in that. Other questions? A couple of last things we do outside of wedge. We do an eye-to-thigh drill, just basically stutter go drill. Okay, it emulates we're in position. We're looking for the drop of the hands. Okay, some people call it high hands, low hands drill. If you've ever watched a wide receiver, NFL they're really good at it. High school we're not quite there yet. If you watch a wide receiver, as soon as they're trying to go down into a break, their hands are going to drop, their hips are going to drop, their thighs are going to drop. Okay, the reason we put it on the thigh is if I'm running in a full sprint, right, and I'm breaking down to come down, my thighs are going to drop, you're going to see the hands drop down, everything comes low. So what we do is just stutter go drill. We just literally line them up on a line and say you've got from the line to the hashes to drop your hips 3 different times, and the DB is going to try and stay in that back pocket. Okay, so we're going to say go, they do it on their own pace, and we tell them, do it 3 different, don't just go, you know, halfway jog and then drop and a halfway jog. Vary it up, so you can do 2 quick ones, you can do 2 long ones, doesn't matter either way. Okay? So you see, does a good, kind of gets ahead of him right here, but you can see again, everything on that wide receiver says my chest is down, my hips are down, my thighs are down, my hands are down. That means I'm going into some sort of break or I'm double moving. Okay? So we tell them as soon as you see that as a DB, you got to think the same thing. Now I got to drop my hips, I got to drive. Okay, we do that in a couple different drills. This is one of the easier ones to do with that. Okay.
You try to have your receivers go 100% speed when you do this drill?
First couple we do like 50 to 75. By the time we're into week 1, week 2, we'll do this with our actual wide receivers because we're trying to teach our wide receivers, listen, when you're going into a break, every time you drop your hips, and we know when you're going into a break. So you try and tell them, we want you to try and stay tall and shorten your breaks up and get out in one break. But this is like one of the first times that we tell them vary speeds. So you might come out, jog, drop your hands, and pick your speed up because we tell them, listen, they're not saying a wide receiver can't jog off the line, flash his hands and then go on you real quick. Okay, so we'll start out slow. But again, we'll pick our speed up. Once we get towards the end of the year and they know the drills and they just kind of hop right into it again. They get better at it. Eventually we'll get into a look and lean so that we know, okay, they've dropped their hips twice. Gets the third one, he looks, we look. Okay, going back to your question, when we ask when's a good time to look if you're chasing the guy and you see his head turn, I've never seen a wide receiver catch a ball with his head straight ahead and the ball's coming from right here. Okay, he's got to turn and look for the ball. So as soon as you see him, like if you feel like you're in good position and you want to turn, if you see him start turning to look and you're in phase, great time to look. Okay, that's why we call it sneaking a peek sometimes. If you're in phase, you sneak a peek, you're like, oh shoot, ball's not in the air, I still got to keep running. Eventually he's going to turn and look for the ball. Okay, we'll do that drill. Again, this is all 2 days, 3 days. This is literally all of DB press drills we do. Okay, and we'll throw some ball drills in. And we'll do Mondays. We have a circuit that we do every Monday, every single Monday, week 1 to the end of the week. But these are every Tuesday we do this. So Monday's just like our everyday cuts, breaks, how do you get in and out of stops, tackling. Tuesday we do this. Wednesday we do Wisconsin ball drills, and Thursdays walk through and we're ready to roll. Okay, questions on any of the drills? If not, I want to bring up watch a little bit. What we're doing. Okay, again, I'm going to show you 2 clips right off the bat. Show you one. Now, when we bail, okay, again, we don't ever backpedal. If we're backpedaling, it's 3rd and 20, okay, and we're just going to light pedal out. We're probably playing something to the sticks. So we will play a turn bail. Turn bail, really easy. You can line up in a press. Technique to that is you're going to pivot off your outside foot. Open square down the middle of the guy, and your goal is to, in that whole route progression, stay down the middle of him. Okay? So when we bail, right, we're down the middle of the guy, turning on our outside, pivoting off our outside foot, we're down the middle, we're on a half turn, we're right down his midsection. Okay, wherever he goes, we go. Fun thing I took, maybe the most memorable thing I took away from Minnesota Vikings, they call it, you know who Medusa is, correct? Who knows who Medusa is? Who's Medusa?
The lady with the hair.
Lady with the hair, right? Ugly woman. She does what to you if you stare at her? She turns into stone. So our fun phrase we use, I'll give you all a fun phrase. Quarterbacks are Medusa. Because if you stare at the quarterback for too long, what happens? You're going to turn right into stone. Okay, they're going to freeze you in your tracks. You're going to have no clue who the wide receiver is because you're too busy staring in the backfield. So again, all conference corner, we had an issue. The whole year, he liked staring in the backfield because he thought he'd make more plays staring in the backfield, right? You can see his eyes. His guy has already taken an outside release, so he should have worked outside, right? In his bail, where's he staring? Right? Staring right in the backfield. Staring in the backfield. Again, doesn't know the guys are going to come back. Luckily, we got a guy going to Wisconsin playing outside backer. He gets into his drop, and we survive. Okay? But when you stare again, staring at Medusa, we'll get you torched if you're going to play press bail. Hey, so again, rule number 1 for our guys, even before everything, is you have a man. Excuse me. Right? There's no reason you should be looking in the backfield. Right? We're not in the run game. Okay, we're taking the wide receivers out of the run game by not allowing them to block their safeties. And if they try and block your safeties, we crack and place it. But do not stare at Medusa. Okay, Medusa will absolutely freeze you. What I want to show you is, so here's the reason we play press and why I like it. I'll show you two of my favorite plays from the full year, and I'll give you the back view. Right? Playing press, we're down about the 15-yard line. A number of teams that line up on the goal line and then want to play press man, when they don't teach how to play press man, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. Right? If you're basing, you're saying, well, I'm playing off coverage the whole game, but then when we get in the goal line, we're just going to say, hey, go cover that guy and play press. So we like to press on the goal line because, again, we're bringing pressure. We teach our guys, we fly around. right? We want everyone to be aggressive. So maybe my favorite clip, right? We're playing press man against Verona, and we know for a fact every time we play press, if they don't throw a comeback, they're throwing it to the flat. Our safety, again, baits them into throwing it. Again, this is why everyone should be aggressive. Okay? Maybe my favorite clip of the year. Had nothing to do with the defensive back cover other than we covered the guys and forced the guy to throw it to the flat. But these guys up here know if this ball's in the flat, right, we're going to get it. Brings me to my next favorite clip of the year. Okay, you're playing press, fourth down, or second, this one's second down, right before. Again, corner does a good job playing press. Again, this is why you play press, you get after people you blitz. Free runner, they turn him loose because they thought, this was our corner at the time, they thought he was covering, excuse me, we bring him on a corner blitz, and the end result. Okay? So you can do different things when you bring pressure. Okay? There's nothing that says you can't have your outside back because whoever's blitzing be the only people. Okay? Yeah, but we'll do it, like I said, we did it from the start to the end of the year. Okay, we did it all year. Did it all year on everyone. Does a good job. Again, big thing we struggle with is the inside release. We haven't quite gotten an answer to how we want to stop people from getting free inside releases because we're lined up inside and you think, well, you should be able to get an inside release, but we're also not trying to stick them on the line. So what's the answer to that? Maybe I'll come back next year, I'll have an answer for you. Okay? But again, we don't want to get in a hand fight right on the line of scrimmage because if he takes one hard step inside, we throw our hands and then he takes an outside release, runs a fade, we're all out of whack. Okay? But what we do, if they take a hard inside release, we're just going to ride their top shoulder. Okay? And all ride the top shoulder means is when this guy's going, right, gets his free inside release, we're going to ride his top shoulder. Now, a good teaching point, right, rides it, sees the ball, we're going to jump in front of the last second, we call it playing the high shoulder. Okay, what playing the high shoulder does is as you're playing DB, we don't want to cut in front of that too short because the quarterback starts scrambling, guess where that guy's going? He's going deep. So we want to sit on the high shoulder as long as possible when we know the ball has been thrown and we can go make a play on it. We're going to jump in front. Okay, we're going to jump in front. Another thing, okay, what press man allows us to do, maybe my favorite thing. Yeah, college guy, I wasn't a blazer, I was a 4.8 40, so you guys got probably tens of guys faster than me. Is this. We tell our guys, if the ball touches a wide receiver's hand, wide receiver better be on the ground. Okay? Some might say, oh, that's dirty, you don't want to be hitting guys if the wide receiver touches the ball, we're putting them on the ground. So every time we get slants, we get 3 steps, we get any sort of routes coming over the middle, right? Wide receiver touched it, we're going on the ground. And after a while, right, you saw 40% of the balls are getting caught. That means every 10 times they throw it, 6 aren't, which means they're getting hit 6 times. They're getting pressed on the line 6 times. They're not getting off the ball, free runners 6 times. Okay? Throw in, your quarterback's getting hit. Throw in, you're not scoring a whole, you're probably getting a little frustrated, and then they're going to say, well, let's take our shot. Then we'll bail. Okay, you're going to throw a ball right to it. But again, if the wide receivers touch it, we want to throw it around. Another point that I really like, you see it right here, does a great job in his motor step. Doesn't do a very good job fighting the ball. Okay? But, big thing with this is if your drills aren't showing up in the games and you're doing the wrong drills. Okay? Say again. If your drills aren't showing up, the drills you're doing in practice, if they don't show up in the games you play, you're not doing the right drills in. Okay? You haven't seen us do, you don't see us in practice do 10-yard W drills all day. How many W drills have I shown you that we do in a game? We ain't doing W drill in a game. Okay? Why aren't we going up and doing high ball drills the whole time? Well, we're not going to see a bunch of deep ball throws throughout a game. Okay? So our drills that we do, you can see, corner here, Orlando does a great job. Right? You can see it at the bottom of the route. Does a great job, motor step, plays out and up. We're just running, now he's got to find the ball, he's got to get his head around, he's in a confident position. Didn't do that. Not very good clip here. Why I want to show you. Right? Good position, looks athletic, ready to go, got his hands ready, doesn't move his feet, we get crossed up. Now thank God we're, again, what solved that? Right? If you look at quarterback, right? They want to line up and empty. We say, go ahead, line up and empty. We're going to bring 5, and we're not telling you where they're coming from. Okay, we'll bring 5, we'll drop a rat in the hole, we'll play cover 1, we'll play cover 0, doesn't matter to us. Okay? This one we're lined up in 0. Quarterback sees pressure coming though, right? Sees it, goes off to the second foot. Granted, we're beat, right? Honestly, I'll tell you, we get beat off the line of scrimmage, but we're relying and comboing that with our defense and saying we're going to blitz. Okay, last one. Another thing that helps you do, we play a wide receiver. We knew for a fact he's going to run a fade every time. Especially when they line up in gun queen trips like this, or like they're going away from it, into the boundary. What you can do is we said, don't open the gate right away. Okay, meaning don't just allow him an outside release. You can line up close and it's just basically a reverse bail, and we told him, listen, let them throw it. We know, so he just opens the gate and says, let's run. Okay? Okay. Do one more on that. Again, kind of get beat off the line. But again, like I said, if you like bringing pressure, which I don't see no reason not to, right? If you say, well, teams are better than us, well, pressure might help you there. Well, we're better than that team, well, then you might as well bring pressure, right? Really no solution to sit there and say, well, I'm going to line my corners up at 7 yards, let them throw a hitch and an out and a slant and a hitch and an out and a slant and a hitch. You know, anyone can throw those types of routes. A couple different techniques we use. Okay, we use that. Stuff that doesn't necessarily need to be drilled. We run what's called a tough technique, which basically says if you line up and stack, or you line up and we think, like our two corners this year, bigger kids, more physical kids, we said, listen, a couple times during the game we're going to tell you, take your arms, shoot him into his chest, and try and knock him down. So you see, they line up and stack. We're just trying to knock people off the routes. And especially when you want to try and pick us with the amount of man we're playing, we're just going to knock you off routes. Okay, does a good job down here. Who's going to get a double move? Tough technique. And try and throw it to him. Again, not open. Maybe my favorite one. We'll play a little loose tough too, which if we get up on a team and we're like, corners like, boy, we're not seeing a lot of throws, we want to start hitting somebody, we want to get involved, we'll play with just a loose tough, which will let them take 2 steps off the line and we'll just go drill them and say, listen, if we're up, I don't know, 28-0, if we get beat once, that's my fault. But we'll let them come off the line and then just tell them, go hit them. Okay? But again, hopefully the theme you're seeing, we don't want wide receivers just to scream at us. Right? If you're sitting there thinking, well, I don't know if I have a kid, I don't know if we have a 4-4 kid, if I have a 6'2 kid. Well, I would probably trust them to play and run off the line of scrimmage a little bit more than I would say, hey, line up 8 yards off, let him throw a hitch, and then make an open field tackle. Okay? Because if you're telling me, well, he's not athletic enough to run with a kid off the line of scrimmage, if you think he's athletic enough to go make an open field tackle on someone better than him, now you're playing double players. If he gets off the line, he catches it, and he's running, now nobody's catching him. Versus at least this, you're giving yourself a chance because you're bringing him a little bit. So this is one of our change-ups. 2, just line it up again. We like it versus stack. We just get our hands on the top wide receiver. Work for us. Okay, again, mainly doing it so we don't get picked. One of these clips in here. This is maybe my favorite one. One of our third corners does a great job. First quarter of a game. Yeah, it's frustrating. There's one more. Do it in practice too. Big thing too, if you film practice, if you're going to film one-on-ones, do it from behind. Okay? I don't know how many of you actually film individual periods, but like when we film one-on-ones, I just hold an iPad. I don't coach at all during one-on-ones. As some we'll do all the coaching on there, and I'll just film it in huddle, but I'll stand right behind them. You get a great view because you can see who's taking releases. Good for both your offense and your defensive guy. But this is our tough technique. This is a freshman corner going against a guy at Purdue, Iowa, Wisconsin, everyone's talking. So again, you can do different types of things. He doesn't know. When he lines up, well, is he going to bail? Is he going to press? Is he going to stab? Is he going to tough me? They don't know what's coming off the line of scrimmage. Again, this level 3 playoff game, the reason why we did it, they love throwing smoke screen. So we said, well, we think he's good enough to go attack him one-on-one, but not good enough if they get picked. It was tough technique though. I don't love that he scared him down, but that's okay. Other thing to do, we'll show a little bail. Again, bailing, good change up. If you don't want to sit and press the whole time. we showed you this clip. Again, you can see it up here. Bailing is a great changeup because then you line up, right? You line up and press wide receiver and then shoot, I gotta get off the press. When we tell them, when we want to bail, we tell them go on the cadence, the set. So like our cadence is ready, set, go. We would spin out on the set. So you're ready, set, go, and then we spin out on the set. So you want to spin as late as possible. Big thing here, again, why we can do this for 14 games in a year and have no one pick up and say, well, we know for a definitive reason. We'll line up at 8 yards and then walk up and fake a press and bail out. We'll line up in a press, we'll bail out, we'll come back and press. We'll act like we're in cover 2, we'll just walk up and play 2-man and we'll press. Okay, so you can do a lot with these two guys because relatively saying, they don't have a lot to do. Okay, they do get involved in the run, yes, when we try and crack and they crack your place. Okay, but you can tell them you can move all the way around. Okay, you can line up 10 yards off if you want to walk up. Okay, teams know we're going to try and play close, but they don't need to know every time what we're doing. So again, up top, one of our corners in our 3 rotation, right, does a good job. See the ball thrown high late, goes up, high points to pick. Again though, if you watch what causes it, right, quarterback gets happy feet, throws it, right, pick. Again, great to start off in games too. Usually teams, offensive coordinators, love taking a shot. We'll bail a lot after a sudden change, so if we turn the ball over, if we turn the ball over, someone wants to take a shot, we'll say, hey, bail out of this, we think they're going to take a shot. We'll bail a lot on the goal line, okay, a lot on 3rd down when people want to throw fades. But again, you'll see, spins out real late, stays down the midline. Okay. Another thing too, I don't know, I'll give you this. We tell our 2 corners, if you're not at the pile by the time the whistle's blowing, the ball's being picked up, you're wrong. Okay, we want them just as aggressive as everyone else. So we tell, if you watch throughout the game, right, we're going after people. Up top, great example. Right, quarterback feels pressure, trying to throw smash. The reason why we like to bail too, a little unconventional, but we see so much smash because we're in man, that when we're bailing, we tell them, if you see him hitch up, get your eyes to number 2 and catch a smash route. Okay? So we tell him, if you're in man, now, hopefully we don't have to play any of you, I don't know if we will or not, but if we do, if you want to throw something with a little like a dip, or a little 5-yard in, or a quick screen or something, we tell them, if you're going to throw smash, we're going to try and throw smash, we're going to bait off of it, right? See smash, comes off the smash, goes and picks it off. Okay, again, you're going to catch what he does here. Late in the game, staring in the backfield, staring at Medusa. Luckily we recovered 1, safety saved him. Okay. Skip that one. Great job, right? To the field, it's really nice. You see the full play. Okay, he does a great job. Playing the post. Again, if you get beat on the post, big thing to do with telling them on the post, you want to beat someone to the post. So we tell them is instead of trying to run and say, oh shoot, I'm beat here, I need to catch up, we tell them run as deep as you can on that horizontal or that path of his post so you beat him to the spot. Because they're not going to throw it. If he throws it right here, right, he's going to throw it for a safety, he's going to try and beat our safety to the post. So we tell him if you keep running and that ball is going to be the trajectory of it, if it's a bad throw, we're going to get to the spot. So he does a great job, you can kind of see it from the back, right, gets beat on it. But you can see where his trajectory, where like if he tries to undercut that, that ball's going to get thrown over his head, right? We can all say he's beat here. But if we take our path, we take it deep enough where that ball's going to get thrown, we can get back on top of that route and force it. Plus he knows he's got safety help coming off cover 1. Safety doesn't do a good job. Again, another great job, spin out late, catch the team trying to throw a fade. You can see though, he doesn't do what? Doesn't step on the gas. He slows down like, oh shoot, people watching. Again, another great job by Antonio here. Max protects. This is eventually what it comes down to. His team says this first round of playoffs, I want to say we're up 35-0 in the second quarter. The team says, forget it, we're just going to max protect, we're going to just start launching the ball. Well then we'll just bail and you're going to throw it right to us. Okay? He's bailing out, right? Knows it's a fade. Does a good job, wedges on the side. Again, if your drills don't show up in the game, you're doing the wrong drills. Okay, a couple other things, what I got, 9 minutes? Anyone know?
Yeah.
Alright, we got 9 minutes. We do two hands, okay? I tell these guys you will not play defensive back at Sunprey ever if you don't play in the run game, okay? I know Matt Patricia, again, nice clinic he has, if you can find it, it's online, Notre Dame. He says, not a business decision to get involved in the run game, the business decision, we want to win the game. Corners are non-negotiable, you better get on tackles. So what we do is, I put it earlier in the slide, if you get pressure, right, if the wide receiver, if you feel like he's trying to run right through, you gotta take your hands, you gotta shock him, right, up between the numbers, tell him to grab right outside his nipples, right, shock him, get control of his pads, we're gonna get involved in the running games. Caden Colpin here does a great job, right, feels pressure, guy trying to come right through him, we're gonna shock, shed, and we're gonna get to the football, right, we're gonna shock him, we're gonna shed, we're gonna get to the football. And another example, Madison West trying to crack her plays. Okay, feels the cracker plays coming, fights pressure, stays outside leverage. Okay, to the football. Actually, this one. And you'll see it here. Really nice against teams that want to try and crack down on your safeties. Right, the whole first half, we didn't quite understand why our free safety wasn't getting the option. And we found out our wide receivers were getting free runs because we didn't. So we just said we're going to go tough technique on these guys. You're going to two hands and fill out outside pressure, get upfield again. You won't play corner for us if you can't come off and play a run. Okay? If you don't think you have, again, don't think you have guys that can do it, start it for us. Our guy that went to North Dakota this year broke his jaw last year playing pickup basketball on a Saturday afternoon. So when Coach Abuda said we don't bring our guys in on Saturday, we do. Okay, so they're not playing pickup basketball at 8 a.m. in the morning. Breaks his jaw. Okay, plus I see it. 5'7", 145-pound corner. Okay. Going up against a wide receiver twice his size. Get two hands on him, get off of him, right? Anyone can do it. Gotta teach it. This is another good one. Right? Feels the pressure off the hands to the football. Maybe, again, one of my favorite plays of the year. Outside runs. Right? Feels pressure, gets hands on him, hands off him, we're coming to the ball. Okay. So that's the two hands. One of the last things, it changes on the goal line. Some of the rules change. Some of the rules change for us. So when you're down on the goal line, and this is going to be all practice, Phil. The rules change for us. Okay, we're going to be a lot more physical. We're going to grab people on the goal line. We figure if it's first and goal from the 5 and we get a holding penalty, okay, it's first and goal from the 3 now. So we're willing to take there is we don't want people throwing. We're going to say, hey, we're going to make you throw the ball to us. You're going to have to throw a fade. So what difference is here is we're not going to so much gain vertical distance because one of the worst things we do is our safeties. We'll press with our safeties. I should have said that. If we get teams that like using a tight end, and they want to line him up in that wire at the tight end, we'll come up, we'll press the heck out of the safety, we'll grab him on the line, we'll get after him. The thing that changes so on the goal line, we don't really give as much distance, and we don't wedge. It's all, we're all just going to play up through his hands. Orlando does a good thing. He's in a great position, but he turns and looks for the ball last second. Right? We just want to play up through his hands. We have no time to look for the ball. Okay? We also don't want to get free inside releases. This wasn't very good. Better, actually. That was a good one. Hit that one. See him kind of wrap, though. We don't want to grab. We don't want to wrap. We'll do these sessions again. We'll put the boxing gloves on so they don't grab. Other thing we do, difference, I don't know. It works for us. I don't know if it can work for you. We'll give you a free outside release. We'll say, throw the fade ball, try and throw a stop, throw a comeback, try it. Okay, but we don't want slant. Like, anyone can throw a goal line slant. But try and stick a goal line fade, again. It's our freshman DB going up against our senior captain. Right, you can see, does a good job, gets him outside, try and fit that ball in there. Good job, get him out of bounds. Okay, and allow him to have an outside release, come back. Big part about this, if you're going to play press in the goal line, you got to undercut every single route to the goal line. So if he catches it a yard in the end zone, it's still a touchdown. If he catches it 5 yards in the end zone, it's still a touchdown. So what we tell them is if you get an outside break in that route, you have to undercut it. Because even if you tackle him and he catches it, it's still a touchdown. Okay? Again, not very good. You're going to see he gets dead feet, doesn't move his feet at all. Just a bad throw. Try to find the one. Offsides first and foremost. Make sure they're not offsides too. You're going to get DBs that watch these 7-on-7 videos and they grab and they pull and they chug and they try and tackle the guy on the line. That's not football. Okay, so make sure they're on sides. But you can see, go ahead, good example. While having outside release, feels a comeback, we're going to undercut every single route on comeback. Undercut it, get to the ball. Other than that, do you have any questions? Stuff you want to ask, things you want me to clear up? And I know it went quick, try to cover a lot in a little bit. Again, if you want, I'll go back to it. I'll be here. Okay, I'm not married, got a girlfriend, but she's out for the night with a friend. So if you have questions of film, if you want any of this film, I'll give it to you. If you want our PowerPoint cut up, I'll give it to you. Just email me, talk to me, find me. We can talk, sit down, go somewhere after this. I really don't care. I got a lot of time. Eagle might be driving. All right, thank you.